Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, sorry, I'm going to fix the microphone. Today we are going to be talking about my pregnancy weeks 12 to 14. As of today, it is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday, so I'm exactly 14 weeks today. And there is some new things that we need to discuss. So for starters, I am in my second trimester now. So, and I apologize if I sound a little bit gross, it's because I am battling a cold. It's the tail end, so I'm fine. It's making its way out the door. And if I cough, I do apologize as well. So I'm in my second trimester, which means that the first 3 months of my pregnancy are behind me, and we're moving forward in the pregnancy, which means I'm going to start getting bigger much faster. My belly's going to pop soon. As soon as relative term, it could be probably the next month or two. I'm probably going to look more like I'm pregnant and less like I ate too much. So that's something that I'm super, super excited for. And my husband is also very excited for. He can't wait to see me and my baby belly. And I have been taking pictures each week to document the change in my belly and hips and posture and blah blah blah, because I did notice, like, I seen like early on, like when I was first starting to get bigger, it was kind of in my hips and my sides a little more, and there was less definition like in my back. Like there was just, you could see something was different, but my belly didn't look much different. Now you can really tell that my belly is starting to look a lot more different. It's starting to get bigger, rounder, and it's starting to become a baby bump. Not so much bloating. So let's go into the super, super big, awesome, amazing news to start the video. I am super duper excited because in my last video I talked about how we did the genetic testing, and the genetic testing was to tell us if our baby was likely to have was likely to be born with Down syndrome, Tay-Sachs syndrome, or Uterine syndrome, and I think there's a couple others in there, but those were kind of the main things. And it also checks for gender, and this can be done as early as I got it done, which was 12 to 14. No, sorry, I got it done last week. No, sorry. Brain function, please. I got it done when I was 12 weeks, right? Yeah, 10 to 12 weeks, yeah. So it can be done at 10 to 12 weeks, and it takes 10 to 14 days typically to come back with the results. I got my results super fast, y'all. Like, it was not even 10 days when they called me. So, drum roll, we are having a boy. So I'm super, super excited. My husband is very happy, and most people I know said they thought it was going to be a girl. So everybody's wrong. And the testing is like 98.9% accurate. So there's very, very little room for it to be wrong. Is there still that chance? Probably, yeah, I guess there is like a 1.1% chance that it could still be a girl, but I'm not holding my breath that that's going to happen. So we are moving forward with the fact that we're having a boy. We have announced it to our family and friends with a cute little Facebook post, and I didn't bother doing like a gender reveal or anything crazy like that. And we already have the name picked out. We've had the name picked out since like before we were even pregnant, because we knew we wanted kids. We were talking about it. We knew we wanted to start trying soon, so it just kind of came up in conversation. And we have 4 names picked out: 2 girls and 2 boys. So the name that we have chosen for the boy, if it comes out, if he is born and we both are like still on board with it, it's going to be Nathan Alexander. However, our backup name, which coincidentally, not really coincidentally, that's not the word I was looking for, but so if we have our son, Nathan, and then the next time we get pregnant we also have a boy, then we'll probably use this name and have another backup name just in case. So we have Nathan Alexander, and our backup name, in case we decide like he pops out and does not look like a Nathan Alexander, is Benjamin Carter. And so that'll be our little boy, little Nathan. So it's really, really nice to be able to call him Nathan, and a him, not it or the baby, all the time. So I'm really trying with my dad, because he cannot remember the name to save his life. So he's like, just make sure whenever you talk about it, like, refer to him as Nathan, and not the baby, or my little bean, because that's his nickname. He's my little bean. because he was as big as a vanilla bean when I found out that I was pregnant, which was super, super early. I found out way earlier than most people do because I was on that shit. I was trying to get pregnant, and so I was taking the pregnancy test like every month if my period was even slightly late. So I found it super, super early, and he was as big as a little teeny tiny vanilla bean seed. This week, we are as big as a navel orange or a brilliant beet. I have 2 different apps, and they both say something slightly different, but they are very close in size. So, and they both agree, March 3rd is the due date. So, we are moving forward with that, and I actually just bought my very, very first piece of clothing for my baby yesterday. I did have to buy it in a bigger size because I had to map it out and figure out, because it's long sleeve, because we're getting into, in theory, the colder months are coming up, so a lot of the stuff in the store is a lot more long sleeve, and I'm doing March, and I live in Tennessee, so in March, it's probably not going to be freezing. It may be a little cooler, but it's not going to be freezing. In April, May, June, it's going to get hot pretty quick, so I don't want to put him in long sleeves right out the gate. So I have it for my 6 to 9 months, so it'll be in the cooler months, like October, November, December type months when he's big enough to wear those. Wear that. And it's just a cute little long sleeve plaid shirt, and it's got dinosaurs on it, because the baby shower is going to be dinosaur themed. My husband wouldn't have it any other way, because my husband absolutely adored dinosaurs when he was a kid, so, what can you do? And I like the idea, too. It's very, very cute, and my best friend and I are already kind of working together, coordinating, figuring it out. It's going to be in January, so we've got a little ways to go still. I do apologize. I feel a lot more out of breath. I know that was something that I had in the earlier, in one of my earlier videos I had said as well. It's kind of ramped up quite a bit more. I do feel a lot more out of breath more often, a lot more easily. I watch kids, so chasing after kids, I'm like, whew, gotta take a break, gotta take a breath. Or even just picking up toys, like getting up and down, I'm out of breath, or talking a lot, I'm out of breath. So that's something that's really ramped up. My nausea has gone down considerably, I say. However, it's not, okay, so I don't feel nauseous like all day long, but it like hits all of a sudden. I feel nauseous, and then usually within 30 minutes I throw up. But that's only happening maybe once a week at most. Like, I got sick on my husband's birthday. I knew, like, I wasn't really into the cake. He likes chocolate, and I don't care for that much chocolate, so I did not have the cake, but I had some Neapolitan ice cream, and threw it up probably an hour or 2 later. And I do have nausea pills that I can take that are supposed to stave it off, but when it's like, boom, you feel nauseous, boom, you throw up, there's no time for it to kick in. So it's just kind of one of those things. And my morning sickness actually happens at night most of the time. At night or early morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And what else? I'm not as tired. I know I said that in my last video, but I feel way less tired. Like, most days I do not nap anymore. I'm getting up at my normal time. I'm not having a hard time getting out of bed. And I'm up pretty much all day. So this is going to be something different for my husband. He's been pretty used to me taking my regular naps, and now I'm back to not napping as much. So that means, yay, that I should be able to get more stuff done around the house. I felt like a pretty crappy housewife here for the last 3 months, because I just haven't felt like doing much. I've been doing the bare minimum to get by, but now I can actually do what I need to do. Keep up on the dishes and the sweeping and the mopping and the laundry and whatever. The only thing that I don't do, I don't use chemicals. So if I have to chemically clean something, my husband does it. So the bathroom is basically all chemical, so I don't clean the bathroom. My husband takes care of that for me. And the only kind of chemical I have used is Clorox wipes. I'll use Clorox wipes to wipe down the counters or something if I need to, but the kind of chemicals you use in the bathroom are a little bit stronger, so he does that for me, so that I don't have to put myself in that situation where maybe I breathe it in and get sick, or it can hurt the baby. So he's very helpful in that respect, that he makes sure that if it's something that I can't do, he's not getting butthurt about the fact that you never clean the bathroom anymore. Sorry, I'm not supposed to. I mean, I can wipe everything down with a wet washcloth. a wet washcloth, but it's not going to clean the bathroom. So, and he understands that. Pregnancy brain. Let's talk about the pregnancy brain. Oh my god. You've already seen some of it. Like, I can't talk. I can't think. I can't speak. I forget things. Like, it's literally, I trip over my words all the time. And I talk a lot. So that becomes quite the problem when you talk all the time, or talking to the kids. And you know sometimes what parents will do, like if they have like 3 or 4 kids or whatever, and they're going to yell at one of the kids, and they like run through their list of kids, Jonathan, Michael, Andrew, whatever, and they like run through the names really quick, and like before they finally get to the one they're trying to do. Y'all, I've been doing this. I watched 2 kids, okay, 2 children, and I have 2 dogs. I keep calling the kids by the dogs' names and vice versa. I have my most often yelled at child, I won't say yelled at, but she is the youngest, and so she gets into things that she doesn't need to be getting into, so I, hey, no, don't do that. She gets called Loretta all the time, which is my troublemaker dog. So the 2 that get talked to the most are like constantly, I'm calling them the wrong name, and I feel so bad when I go to yell at Loretta for, getting into something or whatever, and I yell at her, and then the kid thinks I'm screaming at her because I just yelled her name, and I'm like, no, sorry, you're fine, you're not, I can't remember things to save my life. I still get my days mixed up. I can't ever remember what day it is, and I can't remember, it's like, I'll say something, and then like 20 minutes later I say it again, and people are like, you already said that. Did I? Sorry. And that's just like, if you tell me something like, hey, don't forget, I'm probably gonna forget it. I write lists, like grocery lists and to-do lists, and I like lists, and that's being very helpful now, because I can't, if you say, hey, remind me to do, or hey, don't forget, sorry, it's probably not gonna happen unless I write it down and put it somewhere that I will see it, and that's the key. I have to put it where I will see it, which is typically going to be up on the fridge, because I am in the fridge all the time, because I like to eat. Problem with that, though. I like food, I like to eat, and I find myself hungry, but I don't want to eat anything. Nothing sounds appealing. There's nothing that I want to do. I don't want to cook it, other than regular, old, plain Campbell's chicken noodle soup. All the frickin' time. I have eaten probably more chicken noodle soup in the last couple of months than in my entire life, ever. And I don't put anything in it. It's no vegetables. It is just noodles and chicken, and I eat that all the time. And I think I mentioned that in my last video. It is still holding firm. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, my immune system has been brought down, obviously. That's one of the things that happens when you get pregnant, because you're pregnant and the baby is a foreign object, basically. I'm gonna scoot my chair up. Hold on, 1 second. Whoop! Haha! I felt really low down because my chair was down. What was I talking about? I don't remember where soup. I remember I was talking about soup. I talked about that in my last video. And it's still holding firm. That's all I got. I don't know where else I was going with that. Anyway, so there we go. There's that again. I can't frickin' remember anything. I lose my train of thought if something distracts me, and I like forget all the time. I constantly say that. What was I talking about? Where was I going with that? So that's kind of the fun thing that's going on right now. The other thing that I have going on is burping all the time. And certain foods make it worse, but I burp constantly, and I have learned recently that is thanks to the hormone progesterone, which is the culprit in most things. Likewise, I also found out this may not be a cold. that basically the rising hormones, like estrogen specifically, can actually cause the lining of the nose to thicken and inflame and cause stuffy noses. So, if this is not a cold, then this is probably going to happen for the rest of my pregnancy, which is fantastic. I was so miserable the night that it kicked up. I couldn't breathe through my nose at all. I tried everything I could think of. I have a humidifier in my room. I was putting warm washcloths on my nose. I was trying drinking warm fluids. I took a hot shower. Obviously it's inflammation, so I couldn't. Blowing my nose didn't help. I have a couple of essential oils, and eucalyptus is one usually helps open up your nasal passages. I was smelling eucalyptus. Nothing helped. So my husband and my dad went to the store for me and bought me Robitussin, which is one of the few medicines that my doctor told me that I could take for a cold. I also tried to take a Benadryl, which I was told I could take, and that did nothing. And then they brought me Robitussin and Vicks to put under my nose, and that is the only combination that helped a little. And when I say little, I mean just barely enough that I could sleep, because I was so congested and so stuffed up that I could not fall asleep, and that was miserable. So that is a fun thing. If this is not just a cold, then I'm going to have to contend with this for the rest of the pregnancy. Because I also have a cough and I had a bit of a sore throat. I'm pretty sure it's a cold, but you never know. There's all kinds of fun things that happen when you're pregnant. And I've been keeping a diary. Basically, this is my video diary, but I have also been keeping an actual written diary. I try to write every week, but sometimes I've missed a couple here and there, and sometimes I write multiple times a week. It just depends. It kind of depends on if there's anything to write about. Most days are just normal. Most days I still don't really feel like I'm pregnant at this point. So, which I know is really going to change here soon, especially as I get bigger and start to feel the kicks, because that could happen any minute now. I'm only 14 weeks, but you can start feeling what's called a quickening as early as 13 weeks, and I think I might have felt it. I think I feel it here and there. It's really hard to tell, and they say a lot of times people do miss it or mistake it for something else, especially if it's your first pregnancy, which this is my first pregnancy, because you don't have the other pregnancy to be like, oh, I know what this is, I've had it before. But when I'm sitting still a lot, I will notice little tiny twinges that they don't really hurt, but they're definitely there. And so sometimes I sit there and I'm like, was that the baby, or was that just my uterus expanding? So I think I might have felt him moving around, but I won't know for sure until I get the first real good 1-2 punch. And that's unfortunate, but I keep paying attention to every little bump and gurgle and everything going on in my stomach region. I'm like, was that the baby? So that's kind of interesting, and so I've been trying to document if I feel anything. I've been trying to document the same stuff I talk about here, my symptoms, and things of that nature. Speaking of symptoms, the other one that has kind of ramped up quite a lot is the headaches, which I did read, I don't know how true it is, but I did read that headaches are more common when you are pregnant with a boy. I'm also apparently at a higher risk of developing preeclampsia and gestational diabetes, apparently, because I'm having a boy. These are all things that, like I said, I don't know how true it is. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. It could just be another old wives' tale. The whole heartbeat thing. If the baby's heartbeat is above 140, it's a girl. If it's below 140, it's a boy. We already know that's not true, and I knew it wasn't true beforehand. It's been disproved, but I'm having a boy, and his heart rate was 160 at the last doctor's appointment. I go back on September 25th, so I will be 14. So I'm going to be 17 weeks, I think. Yeah, so I'm 14 weeks here, 15, 16, yeah, so it'll be 17 weeks. nearly 17 weeks when I go back to my next appointment. So they could potentially do an ultrasound to double check the gender at that point. They may wait until my next appointment, which they may not do it at all. I don't even know. I think they will, just because they have to measure the growth as well, not just the gender. But I'm assuming, provided everything goes well, that I only need to have like one more ultrasound. And that's one of the things that I have learned is I thought, like before I got pregnant, that they did ultrasounds like all the time. And I have learned that's not true, that actually if your pregnancy is progressing completely normally, then they have no need to do multiple, more than they do the first initial, like, look, hey, here's baby, and then they do the one to measure growth and check for gender. And typically, that's probably about all as long as my pregnancy progresses normally, that's probably all I'm going to get, unless I request another one. And I didn't know that. I thought that they did, like, every appointment you got an ultrasound to see how the baby's doing. And they may bust out the Doppler and listen, but they probably won't do an actual ultrasound for probably, maybe, like I said, maybe my next appointment, but I would say it's probably going to be the one after that. And as we near the end of my second trimester, I'm going to start having to go to the doctor more frequently. Currently, it's every 4 weeks, but once we get a little further in, they'll bump it up to every other week. And then once we get like beyond a certain point, I think basically once you hit full term, then you have to go like every week, and they check each week. They check your cervix and see if you're dilating or if you're thinning out. I can't think of the word. Is it effacing or something like that? I don't know. It's your cervix thins out and opens up, and is ready to push out a child. And so I've been looking up all kinds of things, preparing myself for like how to tell the difference between Braxton Hicks and like labor contractions, because I can develop Braxton Hicks as early as 20 weeks. And those are the practice contractions that I could be having, which are supposed to be painless. So I don't know. I've never done this before, so this is all a whole new experience. And I wrote in my journal today that pregnancy is weird and gross and beautiful at the same time. There's a whole lot of stuff that I've been reading that is going to come up soon that I'm like, ooh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have, TMI, sorry, this is all about pregnancy. My mucus plug is fully formed, has been for some time. I could lose pieces of it coming up. Obviously it'll fall out when I'm ready to have the baby, or close to anyway, but I could lose pieces of it, and then the mucus production is just like up out the ass. Not literally, but it's crazy, and so I have to change my underwear somewhat frequently, at least once a day, like not like an extra time a day. I mean, so if there's like an extra time, I have to change my underwear like a little more often, because it's. I mean, I could wear panty liners, but most of the time I just get up and I go about my day. It's not that big of a deal if I have to change my underwear halfway through the day. I have had some minor issues with peeing. There was specifically not just like, I don't just pee myself, that hasn't happened yet, but I did have a little accident while I was throwing up. It was like so hard that it actually, I peed myself at the same time, and I was like, damn it. I was hoping to avoid this. But like, I sneeze all the time and don't pee myself, so yet, I guess I should say, because I've been told that that's coming. And as of right now, the baby is going to, I'm so used to saying the baby. As of right now, Nathan is almost doubling in weight every week, so that's why I said like my belly's gonna pop soon, because if he's doubling in weight, then he's getting bigger. So he's gonna be getting bigger, and he's gonna need more room, so my uterus is gonna expand, which is gonna make my belly get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I'm gonna be a big old whale walking down the street or through Walmart whenever I get out of the house. So that's kind of really all we've got going on. I mean, those are all the symptoms. I haven't been to the doctor since the last time, so there's nothing new to report there. Like I said, we're super, super excited. We're having a boy. I cannot wait to get the room together. I've got my registries all going, and we've got the baby shower getting ready to go, and everything is great. And I'm super, super excited, and I'm super happy that everything is going well and it's progressing as it's supposed to, and the doctors have no concerns at this point. and that makes me very happy. And I think very soon I'm going to have to do my glucose test, which is what tells them if I have gestational diabetes or not, I guess. And I've been told that it's not very pleasant. You just have to drink this thing, and like everybody I've ever talked to says that it was basically like a super over-sugared Kool-Aid. So it's kind of gross, but you have to drink that and like come back in an hour and they check your blood sugar levels and stuff, I guess. So that's going to be coming up soon. I think that comes in like it's a 24 week range or something like that. So I'm not looking forward to that. But everything is great. I'm happy. I'm excited. My husband is happy and excited. You know, we've shared the news and everybody's happy for us. My father-in-law does say that he will believe that it's a boy when he's born, and my dad says that if he is actually born as she, that he will run through the halls of the hospital hooting and hollering because he was right, because he thought 100% he was so sure it was a girl. And I don't really know what the reasoning is, and a couple people said that I looked more like I was carrying a girl, but like I said, I'm not really showing yet, so it's kind of hard to tell. But, you know, like I said, 98.9% accurate, it's kind of hard to say that that's wrong. So that'll be all for this video. I will talk to you guys again when I am 16 weeks, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more information for you, and see how things are going, how things are progressing, how the second trimester is treating me, and probably going to get my hair colored soon. That's kind of one of the big things I've been waiting for, is for my second trimester. My best friend is a cosmetologist, so she said she is happy to do my hair for me. However, even though I'm in my second trimester, she said that just to be on the safe side, we're going to wait an extra week. So maybe sometime next week, if I have a day off, or on the weekend, I might get to get my hair did. Because it's been the same color since I started trying to have the baby, because I was like, well, you know, dyeing your hair is supposed to be bad, so I'm not for the baby, so I'm not going to do it until after I'm in my second trimester. So I haven't colored my hair in like, so I'm 4 months pregnant now, so 4, 6, like I haven't, almost a year. It's been 10 months. It's been like 10 months since I've dyed my hair, since I've colored my hair. So she said she will do it for me, and then she will make sure that it's all up and nice and pretty and great and wonderful for the baby shower. And now I just have to start potentially shopping for maternity clothes soon, because once my belly gets bigger, you know, I already don't have a whole lot of pairs of shorts that I can wear right now, just because I have gotten a little bigger, so they're just a little too tight, a little uncomfortable. So I've been wearing a lot of dresses, and my husband and I are going camping this weekend. And I know everybody's like, you're insane, you're going camping when you're pregnant? Like, yeah, now when I'm in my second trimester and I feel better, before I get massive, because we love going camping, and we're not going to get to do it for quite some time. You know, I'm not going to feel up to it once I get bigger, and I'm not going to want to do it right after I've had the baby. And I personally believe that taking a baby camping is a bad idea. You know, I think it's a bad idea to take your kid camping until they're old enough to know better, not to scream and cry and carry on and keep everybody else up, because you have to be mindful of your neighbors. So, unless we get a babysitter, we're not going to be going camping anytime in the near future. So I wanted to give him kind of a birthday, like last hurrah, let's go camping. And then when we get back, I have another surprise for him. When we get back from our camping trip. And I'm not going to say what it is on the off chance that he watches this video. Actually, no, I can say what it is, because this video is going to go up after we get back. So, the surprise is he wants to go see It Chapter 2. So, there's two choices. We're either going to go to the movies, and it doesn't come out until, like, we're on our camping trip, so when we get back, we'll go. Maybe on that Sunday we'll go. So there's two choices. We can go on Sunday when we get back from camping. We can go see It Chapter 2 in the theaters, or there is a Haunted Woods and It Chapter 2 screening at a drive-in movie theater in like one of the next towns over, for $15 a person. So $30, we go see the movie, and we get to go do a Haunted Woods walk, which I like doing stuff like that. And I did contact them and asked if they would allow pregnant women in, and they said that it was fine, that the actors aren't allowed to touch you, that it is dark, but it's a gravel walkway. and I will be careful. But we might not do that. It depends, like I said, if I don't feel good or if my husband really just wants to go see it in the movie theater, we'll go do that instead. But that is his other gift for his birthday, is that we're going to go see It Chapter 2, which I don't particularly want to go see, but he does, so I will take him for his birthday. So that is all for this video. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and we will talk more about my pregnancy and what's been going on. Comment, like, subscribe for more content like this. Like I said, once I finish up my pregnancy, I very well may make some videos about motherhood, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, I swear I don't drink much, and I don't drink at all while I'm pregnant, but I swear, and I drink, and I have never been a mom, so this is gonna be like a learning experience for me, and I'm happy to share the experience with you. So I might go ahead and do that. I may continue on and do a motherhood type vlog and talk about just the trials and tribulations of being a mom. So see you guys next week. Bye. I mean, not next week. Pregnancy brain. 2 weeks. See you guys in 2 weeks.